Nice screw. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful hills of Tennessee, the wonderful fall hills, green hills still of Tennessee. Yes, the home of lots of Paul Harrell viewers, right? Lots of them. And lots of, well, I started to say lots of weirdos, which would include me, but that doesn't sound good for Paul, right? I didn't mean to imply that. But every state has its own share of weirdos. What would life be without a bunch of us weirdos hanging around, right? These days, actually, weird is kind of normal in this upside down world that we've had for several years now. It's really an upside down world. You know, some buddies and I that text back and forth regularly, you know, group text and everything. I mean, that's just, you know, this new upside down world. Oh, the sound of music. I live in a great neighborhood, don't I? But yeah, you almost need to be insane to get by, right? I think it's one of those cases where it's really only the insane anymore that are sane, right? You're in a topsy-turvy situation. So anyway, oh, I just had one round left in that mag. I should have fired it, shouldn't I? Yeah. Guess what caliber this is? What am I doing? You're saying, oh no, he's got the LC Carbine Ruger back out again, the 45 that we all know and love. Well, no, I don't. I have it out, but it's a 10 millimeter. It's a 10 millimeter bullet that I'm firing. Yeah. Can you tell by looking at it? Not too easily. This is, see, what was I firing first here? Yeah, some range dynamics from Fiocchi I was firing. And I've got some Underwood range supply ammo I'm going to fire. I don't know if I got anything else today or not, maybe. I'm just kind of testing and breaking it in and seeing how it does. Shot it some yesterday for the first time, right out of the box. Picked it up yesterday. And you know where we got. Speaking of that, we really appreciate Bud's gun shop. Great outfit. The reason we can bring you so many interesting firearms, right? And great outfit. And Silencer Central, another incredible company. You probably remember Brandon Maddox coming and doing a couple of videos at different times with us. A really quality company, quality people. They do one thing very, very, very well, right? And then, of course, the SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Great place to get on the road to becoming more smarter. Yeah, much more aware about firearms. You can learn a lot about technology, drone technology, firearms, all sorts of things. Lots of coursework there. Check it out, look what's offered, and know what you're taking, right? So anyway, I'm happy to have this thing in 10 millimeter. You know, I kind of like a 10 millimeter cartridge. I think most shooters do. It may not be something they even own or carry or shoot a lot, but most people are familiar with it and know it's a great round. You might have seen the recent video we did posted on the 10 millimeter about whether or not it's could get you in trouble in the courtroom, that kind of thing. Just exploring that topic a little bit. Not really, I didn't mean to come down too hard on one side or the other, because I ain't no expert, but I know that a lot of people have written on it, both sides of it. It doesn't really matter, and others think it does, and it has mattered in a couple of court cases. You know, I didn't see the video. Many of you in that on that video in comments mentioned a video Paul Harrell, speaking of Paul, did on a fellow who was arrested. Fisher, is that his name? And in big trouble and shooting at 10 millimeter, and they did make a big deal out of that. Now I think it was finally after years, maybe kind of reversed or whatever. I'm not sure what the outcome of that was. I've seen a lot of comments on it. But they did make a big deal out of it, and that's probably not the only time. It's not like an automatic thing. A lot of people just don't, not that I know everything, but I've read so many articles. I keep up with what's going on pretty well, not as well as some. And I just am aware of what goes on in these court cases enough to know, boy, there are a lot of sleazy DAs out there that are anti-gun. They're politically minded, or there's just lawyers. They'll do what they can, of course, to help their client, and their client just try to kill you or something, and they're trying to keep him or her out of prison or get a shorter sentence or whatever, if he's still alive, or win some lawsuit against you or me for wrongful death or whatever it might be. So I mean, any little speck of something they can pick at, that's just what they do. And now you can't live your life based on that, or else you can't do anything. But I mean, it's just something to think about, in terms of what you carry, what you're doing. There's lots of issues on that we could talk about. Good topic for a further talks video, right? But like having most people who are in the know, a little bit of wisdom about them, choose not. Now again, I'm not saying the rest of those people are dumb or something, but if you want to be smart, it's probably not wise to have like a bumper sticker on your car. If you're a shooter, you carry a gun, you have a permit, don't, but you carry a firearm, supporter of the Second Amendment, it might not be wise to have a bumper sticker on your car. I don't know, you name it, there's a lot of them out there. You see them at gun shows, shoot them all, let God sort them out, or I don't dial 911, or let's see, I carry a 1911, I don't dial 911, whatever they are. There's a lot of clever, so I like those too, they're funny. But I just, even if I find myself drawn to buy one of those and stick on my reloading room door or somewhere, I try to refrain from doing that, I just can see into the future if anything ever happened. Picture of that'll be flashed up on the big screen in the courtroom. That's just all it is. Just think about those kinds of things. You want to win the situation if you are ever assaulted, and then you want to win the court case too, and not give them any extra ammunition. No pun intended, really. You don't want to give them extra ammunition, but by the same token, you don't want to arm yourself, quote unquote, arm yourself with a BB gun just to avoid that, right? Or an airsoft gun just to avoid that. Yeah, of course not. But anyway, back to 10 millimeter. I kind of like this little LC carbine. This is the third one I have fired, or caliber at least. I'm not crazy about the 5.7 by 28 because I'm not crazy about that cartridge. But as I've told you, I was impressed with the gun. I think they came out with it in that, right? The first one. And I thought at the time, man, this is a hefty piece. This thing needs to be chambered in something bigger. And well, of course, then it comes out in 45 ACP, which really impressed me enough to buy one. Yeah, and I like it. I still have it. I still like it. I don't plan to let it go. And then this came out, so I called up Buds, and I need to try one of those out. And it came in yesterday. So it's fresh. I didn't oil it. It looked like it had some oil on it, so I honestly haven't done that. So we shot it, my buddy and I shot it. I was on the way out to the country, the real country. You think I live in the country? He lives in the real country. Yes. Oh man, he has a gorgeous place in the valley, the house up on the hill, and nice place. I forget how many acres he has, 150 or something. I don't know, but it's but anyway, he's a shooter. We used to compete together back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000, and we've always shot together even since then. He doesn't really compete either anymore. We kind of played those games, but but he still likes the same guns, and we used to enjoy guns. We have a lot in common in a lot of ways. And when it comes to firearms, he still likes to shoot fast. Occasionally, he likes a firearm that shoots fast. They can smoke with, or shoot long range with. But that's not the only thing he likes. He just enjoys a good old Smith & Wesson. Loves revolvers, a Colt. This kind of stuff. He just recently got a 38 Super. We were firing yesterday for the first time, and then this, and let him shoot the Kodiak. He loves big Colt revolvers, big Smith revolvers. So has a range on his place, lots of steel targets, and so it's always fun. But anyway, he liked this thing, and his first shots, I handed it to him. So here, you try it out. If it blows up, it'll be you. But yeah. It's funny. I was thinking, see, there's lots of ways to live in a neighborhood where you hear gunfire, isn't there? You can live in the inner city, or you can live in the outer forest and hear gunfire across the way. So there's good ways to have neighbors who fire guns, and there's bad places to have neighbors who fire guns. So now I lost track. Oh no, I didn't. So many guns now. Most of them don't come with sights. It seems like, because they know you're going to stick something on there, and especially red dots and things like this. And so I was remembering wrong, I guess, that this would come with no sights. I thought, well, we're going to pick it up. We're going to have lunch. My wife knew we were going out there. I'll just take a sight. I just have a not a red dot, but a prism optic that is not on anything yet. I'll just take that and I'll put it on. We'll sight it in well enough to shoot the firearm, that kind of thing. And I'd forgotten that it actually it came with these emboss or whatever. So, just do with that for now. And I'm not sure I'll put the optic on it. Maybe I've got one on my 45, but as far as just shooting this and trying it out, I don't know. Maybe I won't stick it on her. Or maybe I will. And they seem to be, at least yesterday, they seem to be on. We were hitting what we wanted to hit. We weren't shooting all that far away though with this. And I was just shooting over there a little bit, and I was, I don't know, either going over or under, I think, some of those targets. We'll see today. But anyway, it's threaded barrels, just like all of these LC carbines. I'm impressed. They're so well built. They need to be in 10 millimeter and 45, and I don't know. Well, they also came out with it in 9, right? Yeah. Or did they? Am I having a mental lapse? My entire life is a mental lapse. Yeah, I'm thinking that, yeah, maybe I skipped a spot there. I guess I've shot the 9 millimeter too. Or maybe they went over the 9 and just came out with the 45. Is that how it went? I don't know. It's too many pistol caliber carbines to keep up with. But I like these, and this one seems fine. I thought maybe in 10 millimeter, and we didn't fire any really hot stuff. And I don't know that I have any really, I guess I don't with me, really hot, to see how it feels. But I haven't noticed a big difference between it and the 45 yet, just a little bit in terms of the bolt coming back. Because these things with they got big heavy bolts or blowback. And that's why it has such a big heavy bolt, because it's a blowback. And so you do get that big bolt chunking back and everything. So, okay, anyway, here we are. We're getting into October, almost pumpkin killing time, isn't it? So we'll have to be about that here in the next few weeks. Have to. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah. Yeah, those first shots I took there, I did get one up there, but those are like 2 or 3 right there. That close, that's going a little too low, really. So I have to remember that when I'm shooting out that way. I was shooting low probably when I missed. I've sighted enough firearms. Love that sound. Black powder, I can tell. Muzzle loader at least. I've sighted enough AR-15s and firearms like this where the line of sight is pretty, far below the line of sight's above the bore, that when you're shooting at, like on the main range over there, when I'll put a piece of paper with an AR, and some shots, sighting in the sights, scope, whatever it is, and I know at about 20 yards or whatever, it needs to be hitting about, if I've got a bull or a dot drawn on something, it needs to be hitting about that much below it in order to be right on once you get out to 50 and 100 yards and that kind of thing. So I got kind of an instinct for that. Like that, for example, that's almost too low for it even 20 yards, I think, for like an AR or something. So I'll keep that in mind and bring a sight tool. I don't know, we didn't notice that yesterday, but we weren't shooting that far away. And I've also, I think, I've got the Fiocchi in this mag. This came with it, SGM. Seemed to work yesterday. So what it holds about 28. That's pretty nice. And the one that came with the 45, it was, I think, just a standard 13 round mag, I believe. It's worked okay as well. So I'm pretty picky and snobbish about my Glock magazines. I've tried aftermarket mags, and most of them I don't like. But if this works, and in 45, we don't have any trouble, I might try to get some more of those SGM tactical, because in 45 and 10, Glock doesn't make any larger mags, really, do they? So I'm gonna shoot it again, can I? Let's put this mag in, take a couple with it. Okay, I got to remember now. Hold up, and maybe I can hit something. Lock this thing back. I remember how to do it. That's a safety. There we go. Okay. 10 millimeter. All right. Chunk one in and pop something. Oh, I'll bet Clyde wants to feel a 10 millimeter, don't you think? Yeah, he doesn't like it. He says it hurts. Oh, ploy. Let me try that again. I'm going to hold above the red. There we go. Got one in it now. I'm going to try to hit the buffalo. I'll hold above him. I think I heard it. Yeah, I see it moving there. Try the gong. Yeah. Yep. Holding right on top of it and still hit it. I'll hold on the bottom of it. Yeah, I went low, I guess. Be nice. How about a hog? I moved the hog up a little bit so y'all could see it a little better. And plus this round right there, that's a nice target. In fact, my shooting buddy made that for me. All right. We have not had any malfunctions with it. It has done fine. 10 millimeter. Yeah. Gosh, how many of these pistol caliber carbines have people commented on over the years, and other, well, I guess they're all pistol caliber carbines or something like that. If people talked about wishing it was available in 10 millimeter, everything from a M1 carbine, you name it, they just would like them in 10 millimeter. And part of the reason, I guess, is most of them don't have as big a bolt, and it's a bit of a challenge if it's a kind of a lightweight firearm, right? So, but 10 millimeter has always made so much sense to me. And well, of course, High Point makes one. Of course, they got the heavy, the chunky bolt and everything. But 10 millimeter in a carbine just makes a lot of sense. It always has, I think, to a lot of people, because you got something with a little weight put on your shoulder. You know, some people might not like to fire a 10 millimeter out of a handgun so much, a lot of recoil and kick and all that kind of thing. But in a carbine, oh man, just perfect. So nice firearm. I might suppress it the next time I shoot it. Not that you're going to suppress a 10 millimeter. Well, you're going to suppress anything. It's just a matter of how much, right? Ain't I smart? Gosh, anything to yak at you about today? Well, appreciate Alabama Holster. Great supporter of the channel. Got one in my pocket. In fact, yeah, they make great concealment holsters. I decided I was going to shoot that today. I got a different revolver. I move around in my pocket guns between a couple of revolvers and a couple other firearms, but they're all pull and shoot. And I got my 642 today with some 158 grain lead semi-wad cutter hollow points in it, and I just wanted to shoot one to see how they feel. Yeah, nice. Plus P, and it feels plus P. Let's shoot the Alabama holster. All right. Boom. Yeah. That felt good. That felt like a I like the feel of that. That had some punch. That has some punch. And you know, that's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, you're a little measly 38 special, you know, whatever, shooting a 38 special. I tell you, you get a feeling, don't you? The way a firearm feels when you shoot it. I don't care what you read, what the articles say, what all the ballistics experts say, whatever it might be, that you're underarmed with that, or you should be carrying this ammo, or you know what, I brought 357 instead of 38. Let me see if I can find some here. I think I got it. Yeah, there's some. And I get a feeling though when I pull the trigger on any firearm, don't you just instinctively know that's gonna hurt, or that's got some power behind it. I don't care what anybody says about the ballistics. That's enough power, probably. Okay, probably, if any handgun is. Okay, so that 357 Magnum ammo would have been a lot of power in this little 38. And if you've been watching this channel, you should know by now, you can't put a 357 Magnum round in a 38 special, can you? That's for good reason. It's a little bit longer, and that's a safety mechanism. These are a little bit lighter. These are plus P by 129 grain. I'll be able to feel the difference. All right, my 642. All right, what do we want to shoot? How about the cowboy? Yeah. Just want to make sure you can shoot whatever you're carrying, that you have a little memory there about what it's going to feel like, how much muzzle rise you're going to get, and the grip, is your grip going to work, and all that. 642 is a wonderful little revolver. Yep, hard to beat, no doubt about that. So what else do you want to know about? Well, like I told you, I actually have gotten through all of the Sunday videos, so hopefully none of those will be taken down either. So get back and watch them all again in your spare time. And so other than some videos that it's been a major project, some videos where there was a URL I gave. I told you last week The problem is giving the URL is the biggest problem. There's some other things, but it's mainly giving the URL, the exact web address, that kind of thing, for certain companies. So there were some where I know I spoke those web addresses, and I just couldn't find it in a certain videos. I just had time to go, actually watch the entire 20-minute video or something, but just going through, I couldn't find it on a few of them, some of them. So I don't know if they'll be hammered how hard and all that or not, but by and large, I got that out of, I would say, 95%, of the videos, and finally worked my way back through all of the Sunday shoot-arounds. For whatever they're worth, I just hate to see them go away. Even on YouTube, they're not going to go away. On Rumble, everything's over there. I guess since last week, did I tell you the Glock 18 video was deleted? They took it down, and I'm not sure why. They're age restricting full auto stuff, which totally keeps it shadow banned for sure. But they're not supposed to be taking it down, so I don't know why they took that one down, unless there was something in there I didn't get to. I thought I had done that one, but it's over on, you must have seen the posting on Facebook. I put a link to it over on Rumble on Facebook, so it's over on Rumble. All that. Let's see. But anyway, again, it's the URLs, the web addresses for the issue, and be sure you're thinking about voting. I heard, was it Trump and then somebody else somewhere on a show talking about just in the last week or two about how, and I guess they're right. They were quoting percentages in both cases. I heard people talking about that, how gun owners don't vote. They vote. It's like, what, 16%? There's some crazy percentage like that of gun owners actually vote, and of religious people, churchgoers or whatever, Christians. I'm not sure how he phrased it or they phrased it. I heard both of those stats this week, and I think the percentages were similar. I forgot what they were on the Christian block or whatever, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but somehow they got their statistics somewhere, so they may not be too far off. But man, get out and vote. It's whether you think it helps or not. I don't think it hurts. Especially if we got 100 million gun owners, and if only 16%, whatever it was, something in the teens, is voting. Wow, what if 90% of gun owners voted? That or churchgoers or whatever, that would take care of the election one way or the other, wouldn't it? So I don't know. I'm not going to reprimand people. Everybody is a free spirit. Do your own thing, but don't complain. If you're not at least taking the trouble of driving to the polls. Usually it's just a matter of stopping by there and taking 5 or 10 minutes and voting. It's just it's just basic stuff. It is so easy to sit on the couch and in every segment of society, we have the armchair quarterbacks. I'm sure I'm guilty of it in some ways myself, but it's just so easy just to complain about things and not really change anything or do anything different ourselves. It's just so much easier, right? Whether you're criticizing your favorite sports team, just whatever it is, the company you work for, they never get anything right. They don't know anything, and this department is run terribly and all that, and not taking any of the blame ourselves. It's just kind of human nature. We have to get out of that. It's just basically where we start, and hopefully we get a little bit more enlightened and we see the bigger picture sometimes. But as we get older, but you just got to vote. Get out there and cast the ballot. Whichever side you're on. so that, I mean, think about it, if everybody voted, then probably one way or the other, the results would be very possibly overwhelming enough to where there wouldn't be any question about who won. Then again, it might be tight. I don't know. But anyway, get out there and vote. And the main thing I was going to say, I got into all that, was just try to vote based on the policies. Use your common sense and what makes the most sense. And for you, me, the country, and everything, and not on personality and fluff and all that kind of thing. Vote based on what you think various politicians might accomplish. Yeah. And that's kind of dangerous to say, because there are a lot of people sitting at home, hopefully not watching here, but some maybe, that just want government to take care of them. Generally, gun owners don't fall into that category, at least firearms enthusiasts. I mean, anybody can own a gun, but as far as people and really Second Amendment advocates and firearms enthusiasts, generally don't, I think, fall into that category. Very, very, very few. But that's always a temptation. Yep, yeah. I mean, I know there are people who would hear that and they would say, "Yep, I'm voting for the policies I like. I agree with you, Hickok 45. I'm voting for the policies. I want a government in place that's going to send me a check, keep me from having to work, whatever it might be." But anyway, you just know the policies, the platforms, and vote accordingly. Whatever happens, happens. Okay. We get the candidates we elected, right, that we vote for, that we deserve, as they say. Can I shoot this again? All right. So far, this SGM magazine, what's that stand for? SGM. Made in Korea. So, SGM mag. So, there we go. All right. Let's shoot some more out of that one. I'm not really worried about these sights and having to hold high or whatever I'm doing, because I'll work on them, adjust them, and then, or maybe even put an optic on it. I don't know what I could do. Yeah, can't necessarily tell where they're hitting. Pow. Oh, they're hold up. I hear a biplane or something. Got him, yeah. If I hold on top of the buffalo, it pops him. All right, even held on top of that red plate and got him. Yeah, I think Ruger has a winner with these things. I don't know, do y'all have one? Do any of y'all have these? Am I the only weirdo that has them? I mean, I haven't heard anybody that hates them or anything. My shooting buddy, he's fired both my 45 and this one, and he likes them. He hadn't bought one. He has the folding carbine he likes a lot, and I think he mainly got that for his wife, but he likes it too, and grandkids and everything. But he likes these, and he's liable to end up with one of these too. So I don't know. I promise I'm not employed by Ruger. Yeah, or any gun company. Y'all know that. Okay, so 10 millimeter. Pretty neat little bullet. What else do you want to know? Let me give you some advice for kiddies. Do I have any? I made a note here. Yeah. I was trying to get philosophical. I just made a note or two. Of course, if I don't make notes, I forget everything. I keep I live with a list. I may have told you all this to-do list in my pocket. When I was working and publishing, when I was teaching, whatever I've been doing, I've always had a note card or something in my pocket just to do. Just pull it out and jot down. A pen, you see that in the videos. I've got the pen and usually still in my pocket. And it's right here. I just took all this out. Because sometimes I'll stick a mag in there, and I try to remember to clean out my pocket before I cannot have a t-shirt without a pocket. I'm lost. And but anyway, I always kept a to-do list and still do. Oh man, do I ever? And it gets too long, and then to-do lists are pain. I still write them down, but on paper, and then don't get everything done. Make a new one, and stuff have to roll over. And I know there's systems for dealing with that, but I'm buried in to-do lists half the time. And how did I get? Oh, I know how I got off on all that. Yeah, I have a couple of notes of things I might want to talk about, or I'd forget. Right? So, but anyway, young people or old people, how about make it a mission to be nice to people? Okay, don't emulate me, the guy who's mean to people. Be nice to people. Uh, it's a tough world, tough economy, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, we're all in. I sound like kumbaya. We are all in this together, and we're not here that long, right? And you know, what's your legacy? What have you done? I mean, most of us don't do all that much. We're not going to be the president or the governor, or we're going to design a new car, an electric car, like Elon Musk. We're just not going to do anything like that. But we can all at least be just nice to people, cordial to people, helpful to people, when they need it, and treat everybody with respect. Like if you're in school, for example, are you nice? Nice sounds corny, I guess, but are you nice and cordial to people in your classes that you don't know, or are you just friendly, or are you just nice to your best friends, or people, or people who are different from you? They have very different interests. They're different, I don't know, age or color or whatever, religion or whatever that might be. Are you only nice to people that are like you or like me? Where you work, same way. If someone's not in your department, they're not on the same plan with you, working on this marketing plan, whatever it is you're working on, do you just consider them useless? They're in this other department. They don't do anything worthwhile, or whatever that might be. Do you know the janitors in your building? Do you speak to them? Do you know? Do you know them? What are their kids' names? I don't know. You don't have to maybe go that far, but I mean, do you know people? Or are you aware of other people? Right? Hopefully we're not just going through life, with blinders on and our little schedule and our little priorities, and to heck with the rest of the world and anybody else. It gets in our way, that kind of thing. But just my only advice: be nice to people, and usually it pays off. Usually you get it back. Sometimes you don't. Some people are just not very, very nice, very friendly. I went through a drive-through just this morning, and the person was just seemingly, there was no reason, there was no conflict or anything about the order or anything, but just seemed like, why are you here bothering me, kind of thing. And maybe that's what made me think of it. It doesn't cost anything just to be nice to people, especially if you're in the job where you're supposed to be putting your best foot forward and actually represent the company, Wow. Because a lot of people are just not. They're just all caught up in their little world, and their little selfish world or whatever. So anyway, that's my only advice. Try to be nice to folks. It's a short visit here on this planet for all of us. So anyway, shall I shoot it again? Do I have any? Yeah, can I shoot my 642 again? Oh man. I could talk about that. Not having a hammer, couldn't I? And I've done that probably in videos. If you're new, there's a reason there's no hammer. Well, a lot of reasons, but there's a reason you want one, or you might prefer one like this. Again, there's courtroom issues. When you cock a revolver, what happens to the trigger? It becomes a very light hair trigger, and that is another place where attorneys focus on. And I forget exactly how that goes. I think if they can prove you didn't really mean to pull the trigger, they can convince that jury how light that trigger is once it's cocked, and how easy that could be accident or whatever. It makes a difference in the settlement, all those kinds of things. But more importantly than all of that, you're not going to pull that thing probably accidentally, unintentionally. Now you could pull it when you shouldn't have. You could shoot it when you should not have fired, right? But I don't want to carry one of these without a holster. I know people do. Another shameless holster plug for Alabama. I mean, it's so simple to have a holster, and like these thin Kydex holsters, whoever makes them, I mean, pretty much so. I guess everybody makes them fairly thin, but they're just nice, and they don't take up any extra room. The gun's always in the same position, and you get all those advantages. But there are people who just stick these things in their pocket and have, for a century almost. Because, and it's not like putting a Glock in your pocket, a hot Glock, locked and loaded around in the chamber, or any, semi-automatic pistol like that or something, and just having that thing loose in your pocket. It's not that bad, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But I just know people have done it, and they'll take a gun like this, loaded, and just stick it in their back pocket. I knew a guy who lived in this county like that. He's passed now. But his son, who I know, said he used to always had a J-frame in his back pocket. It had a hammer, I think, but just like that in his back pocket and all that kind of thing. And who knows how many people carry them in a regular slash pocket or cargo pocket or whatever. Don't even think about a holster. Again, I advise a holster, and almost anybody that's really experienced with firearms would. But just pointing out how much safer one of these is than a lot of firearms, because look at it. I'm going to hit that. Of course, it's empty, right? It's only fired. But I'm going to hit that trigger. Just something to think about. No charge for this information. But if you're not familiar with guns like this, I'm hitting that trigger. I'm putting it hard. Like if I just reached in and, pulling on my gun or something, it scares me to think about. But you got to really work. I'm putting a lot of pressure on the side of that trigger, and even on the front now. I'll see if I can pull with my little finger. I cannot pull my little finger. Probably that finger's my middle finger I could. Well, if I got to have my hand against the back, I could probably there we go. That was my little finger. Okay, I had to get my palm against the back side. But anyway, it takes some force. That might scare you. Well, I don't want that thing. I can't fire it when I need it. No, if you work with it, it's not a problem. That is one of the things about a revolver, though, that does turn a lot of people off. If you grew up with just semi-automatics, how to get off on all this? Whatever it is, it's going to have a trigger that doesn't take this much poundage to pull, right? And if it's a 1911, you pop the safety off, and it can be very light. So then someone hands them this thing, something like this. You can't even cock the hammer, and what in the world? And they go to shoot it, and they jerk it, and they're pulling on that, and they might miss that target right there that's that close to me, literally. And that might, scare you a little bit. Well, I wouldn't even be armed if I had that. Well, try it sometime if you know somebody has one or whatever. Put some dummy rounds in it, or just some spent brass, and so that the hammer's hitting on primers or fake bullets or whatever, and just practice, because that's maybe the biggest disadvantage, the thing that turns people off about a double action revolver like this. They can only be fired double action. They don't feel competent hitting anything like that. Well, just do that, get it loaded with that, dummies or something, and then practice, get a good grip, and practice pulling all the way through and holding the sight right where it needs to be. And you will get to very quickly, you will strengthen the finger if you don't have that strength in it yet. And you will get to where you can just hold it on wherever you need to hit. You'll hit. I don't know what I hit. I don't think I had too many misses when I was shooting it out there. And guess what? This will be a newsflash to most of you. I fired every shot double action. I didn't cock the hammer one time, did I? No, I didn't. And that's the joke about this. I better load this before I put it back in my pocket, because it is my firearm. It's what I am carrying. And I just have 4 bullets left here. So I have to remember that, right? No, I am going to let it. But I clean this right away. Whenever I fire my carry gun, it gets cleaned right away and reloaded. I ain't all that smart, but I know to do that. So I guess I should let you go. And no other announcements that I'm aware of that you need to know about. Don't forget the Clips channel and the Talks channel. I did some more talks, and I post one of those every couple of days, 3 days, something like that. Something ends up more controversial than I think it is. I don't know. That's the problem with rambling. Actually, I want to talk about that. Actually, talks. Yeah, I've got that as one of my topics to talk about. Is because that comes up regularly, occasionally. That comes up on those talks, or even the clips John pulls out. And that topic is going to be on how, if you have a media site of any kind that you post on regularly, or you're a news station and you have a slot every day, you have a program on that news station every day, or like the 24/7 news is now. It used to not be that when I grew up. It was 30 minutes a day. But and same thing there though. If you got a slot that you're going to do every day, every week, or once a month, whatever it is, guess what? You need some content for that slot. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that, and about how that relates to some people giving certain topics or videos or talks or whatever it is, something on the news or whatever it might be, more importance than maybe it deserves in some ways. So we'll talk about that. I'll see you on the Talks channel, okay? So I'm kind of enjoying that. If I run out of talks, I just won't talk anymore. I'll just, but I don't have to try to get all of my dumb things said on a Sunday, for one thing. It's kind of nice. So anyway, 10 millimeter, the Ruger LC Carbine. I'm looking forward to doing a video or two with that. And I had another firearm I want to show you too that's that I'm enjoying. I'll wait till next week. The SGM magazine seems to be working okay. And mostly I have the regular 13 round, 15 round, Glock mags, and which are nice. They tend to work. I've not tried hollow points in it. So I'll do that, and I'll try some really hot stuff in it, see how that does. Maybe try a suppressor on it. Put the, the Banish 45 on there, and quiet it down a little bit. Now I've got this on there to add a little length, okay. That didn't come from Ruger, the rubber slip-on. People have written and asked me, or in comment, what kind of slip-on, what is it? I don't know, I got five or six brands of these things. What's that one that's the one of the most common, popular, kind of pricey, but they're really good. Decelerator, does that sound right? Pacmar, I don't know. Pacmar make them, I forget. But I've got, so they sent me some years ago, and I bought a bunch of, there's like $35 a piece or something. They're not cheap. But I mean, any of them basically work fine for me, because I'm not necessarily trying to absorb a bunch of recoil. Get one that absorbs the most recoil. In most cases, it's just to add some length, okay? Because this thing doesn't really kick. Now, I mean, there are firearms, I'll be honest. Is that possible? There are, sometimes I'll add one, well, I add them on almost every long gun, don't I? To get the length, a little more length. And there are some times when I get the added bonus. I get a little extra length, which I need. And then also, I'm shooting high brass 12 gauge or 375 H&H Magnum or something like that. So yeah, you do get some extra shock absorption there. I'll admit to that. So let me shut up. We're going too long. Get off there, Spider. And I will talk to you all next week. Next time I see you. Next time you see me. Well, I don't know. I might be wrong on both accounts. You might hopefully be watching another video. You might see me again tonight. Well, I started to say the next time you see me, it'll be October. The next time you see me in a new Sunday video, it will be October, right? Pumpkin killing time. Maybe I'll have some pumpkins and bring one out on the Sunday, shoot a little bit, who knows. So appreciate your all support. And some of you are watching over on Rumble. I noticed some videos over there. Wow, the last Sunday, in fact, Sunday video. I think I had more video views over there than on YouTube. What is that place? Yeah, YouTube. I don't know if are they featuring it over there or something. I mean, it had like some huge number. So I don't know. I think they must be trending over there, or whatever they call it over there. I'm not even sure how they do it. I don't know enough about Rumble, but I am keeping up. You notice that, right? Everything goes on YouTube and Rumble the same day. I try to make them live at the same time, pretty much. There might be a gap there or something going on. I might just forget. Oh no, I didn't put it on Rumble. But if I do that, I'll get it on up there and get it live over there too. Okay, so appreciate your support, and I don't remind you all, but man, I tell you, I know YouTube is really it's just y'all tell me this all the time. I see in person and online. They're just not recommending gun videos, people you're subscribed to and everything. So whatever you can do, we appreciate it. If it requires liking every time and resubscribing, what else, commenting. And I see a lot of you do that. You'll just put something in for the algorithm, but yeah, appreciate whatever it is. One last thing, what is this business you see in comments? Sometimes it's like every third comment, it's just a list of like 4 or 5 names. It's always the same, not the same names, but 4 or 5 names. John, Ralph, Paul, Bill, or something. And that's the comment. It's obviously some bot or something. You see that around on other videos. I mean, it's just our videos. I notice they're just covered with that. It's just weird. It's not. I don't think it's the porn bots. They always show up at the first part of every video. But these things, it's wild. So much of that. I don't know what that's from. So I don't know. Unless it's just some guy named Paul, Harry, Bill, and George, and they decide to combine their comments. It's weird. The first time I started seeing that, I thought, what is that? Is that some kind of code that the Iranians or the Russians or the Chinese are using or something? Should we be trying to block that or do something about that? There's no way to do it. So I don't know what that is. So maybe some of you know. Maybe you're the one doing it. Yeah. So I'll talk to you later. I've rambled enough. Life is good.